Welcome to Lorn Sleepy, your peaceful corner for calm storytelling, mindfulness, and gentle bedtime lessons. Join Min the thoughtful turtle on a slow, soothing journey through quiet meadows, still ponds, and starry nights. This story is crafted to help you relax, breathe deeply, and find peace inside your heart. Perfect for bedtime or any time you need to calm your mind. Once, in a quiet corner of the world, there was a meadow where everything moved slowly. The grasses swayed softly in the breeze, and the trees stood tall but gentle, never rushing. In this meadow, time didn't tick, it breathed, slowly in, slowly out. In the heart of the meadow lived a small, thoughtful turtle named Min. Min wasn't in a hurry. He liked to sit on warm stones and listen to the songs of the wind, the soft hum of bees, and the gentle whispers of the river that wandered nearby. Every morning, Min would wake up with the sunlight on his shell, stretch his little legs, and smile. He would say softly to himself, "This is a good morning to be calm, to be kind, and to be here." And then, very slowly, Min would begin his walk, not to go anywhere in particular, but just to feel the earth beneath his feet and to notice the way the world was waking up. Birds would chirp greetings. The breeze would carry the scent of wildflowers. Sometimes, the clouds would drift low enough to touch the tops of the trees, like they were giving gentle hugs. Min would stop often to look at a single leaf, to listen to a dragonfly, to close his eyes and breathe. Min's favorite place was a mossy log beside the stream. He called it the listening log because if you sat there quietly enough, the water would tell you stories. Stories about raindrops falling in distant forests, about fish swimming past stones, and about moonlight touching the river at night. One day, Min found a smooth pebble near the log. It was cool and round and fit perfectly in his little hand. "This," Min whispered, "is a peace pebble." He placed it on the listening log and promised himself something. "Every time I feel hurried or worried, I'll come here. I'll sit with my pebble. I'll listen. And I'll remember how to be calm." And from that day on, Min carried that pebble with him. Not because he needed it, but because it helped him remember. One afternoon, As golden sunlight settled across the meadow like a warm blanket, Min was resting beside the listening log. His eyes were half closed, his breath slow and deep. The peace pebble sat quietly beside him, catching the soft light. The stream whispered as always, and the leaves above rustled gently, as if they were telling secrets to the wind. Then, without a sound, something light and soft drifted down from the sky. A single feather, white and wispy, it twirled slowly, dancing on the air, until it landed on Min's shell like a kiss from the clouds. Min opened one eye. He smiled softly. "Hello, little traveler," he said. He picked up the feather gently, turning it in his fingers. It was so light he could barely feel it, yet it held something magical. Min looked up. High above, a quiet bird glided past, slow and wide-winged, flying with grace and ease. The bird didn't flap. It simply floated on the breeze, letting the sky carry it. Min watched, feeling his breath grow even slower. "Look at that," he whispered to himself. "The bird isn't pushing, it's trusting." He held the feather against his chest. "Maybe I can learn from the wind and the bird," Min said. "Maybe I don't always need to know where I'm going. I can let the day carry me." And so, with the feather tucked gently behind his ear, Min stood up from the listening log and began to walk again. Slowly, gently, with no rush and no plan. He stopped to feel the cool bark of a tree. He watched ants working quietly in a line. He sipped from a puddle that tasted of clean rain. As the sun lowered and the sky turned soft blue, Min found a quiet patch of moss beneath a crooked willow tree. He lay down slowly, placed the feather and the pebble beside him, and let the evening settle around him like a lullaby. He whispered one last thing before sleep. "Today, I walked with the wind. Tomorrow, I'll listen again." And the stars began to twinkle above, watching over the turtle who had learned the secret of going nowhere and finding everything. The next morning came slowly, with light mist rising from the ground and curling softly around the trees. Min awoke beneath the willow tree, where the moss still felt cool and soft under his shell. He stretched his legs, wiggled his toes, and yawned a small turtle yawn. Beside him, the peace pebble and the feather waited patiently. He placed them carefully in a small pouch he had made from leaves and grass. They were treasures, not for decoration, but for remembering. Today, the air smelled of water. So Min followed the scent, letting his feet guide him through tall grass and over smooth stones. After a while, he came to a quiet place he had never seen before. A pond. It was wide and round, and it did not ripple, not even a little. The surface was so still it looked like a mirror. Trees leaned in close to look at their reflections, and clouds drifted by above and below. Min stepped to the edge and sat down. He didn't move, not because he was tired, but because the pond invited stillness. It didn't ask for anything. It didn't want him to hurry or change. It simply waited. Min looked at the water and saw himself looking back. A small turtle. A peaceful face. A friend. He whispered softly, "I see you, Min, and I'm glad you're here." Then he breathed, in and out. The trees swayed a little, but the pond stayed still. Min dipped his hand in the water and watched the ripples gently move across the surface. A dragonfly landed beside him. Together, they said nothing, and in that silence, Min felt something deep inside grow quiet, like a sigh that had been waiting for a long time to be released. He sat at the pond for a long while. He watched fish make circles beneath the surface. He listened to frogs singing, spaced far apart like the slow beating of a drum. And he thought, stillness isn't empty. It's full of noticing. As the sun began its gentle slide toward the horizon, Min whispered, "Thank you, pond, for showing me how to be still." He placed a tiny leaf on the water, like a gift. Then he stood with his pouch gently tied and began his slow walk back toward the meadow. With each step, the quiet of the pond stayed with him, not as silence, but as peace. As Min walked back through the meadow, the sky slowly changed from soft blue to gentle shades of pink and orange. The sun was saying goodbye for the day, painting the clouds with quiet colors. Min's steps were slow and easy, feeling the earth beneath him, feeling the day's calm settle softly like a blanket. Soon, he came upon a small clearing he had never noticed before. In the center of the clearing stood a single lantern, glowing warmly. It was not bright or harsh, but soft, like a tiny sun made of light. Beside the lantern sat an old wise owl named Aura. Aura's feathers were soft gray, and her eyes were deep pools of kindness. "Good evening, Min," Aura said, her voice gentle like a whisper in the wind. "Good evening, Aura," Min replied. Aura smiled. "This lantern is special. It holds a light that does not rush or fade quickly. It is the light of calmness, steady, gentle, and sure." Min looked at the lantern's glow, feeling its warmth reach inside him. Aura continued, "Whenever you feel darkness or worry, remember this light. You can carry it inside you, and it will guide you through quiet moments and restless nights." Min nodded slowly. He felt grateful. "I will carry this light," he said softly, "and share it with others who need peace." Aura blinked slowly. "That is a beautiful promise." Min sat beside Aura and the lantern. Together, they watched the stars begin to twinkle in the deepening sky. The meadow grew still and soft. Min breathed in the calm light, breathed out any restless thoughts. And as the night wrapped around him, Min felt the gentle glow of peace growing steady inside his heart. That night, under the vast sky sprinkled with shimmering stars, Min lay on the soft moss beneath the willow tree once more. The peace pebble rested gently in his little hand, and the feather was tucked safely in his pouch. He looked up at the sky, where a single star twinkled more brightly than the others. It seemed to wink just for him. Min whispered softly, "Hello, quiet star. You shine so gently, yet so surely." The star seemed to glow even more, bathing the meadow in a soft silver light. Min thought about all the lessons he had learned. The slow walk, the feather carried by the wind, the still pond, and the lantern's warm glow. He realized that peace was not something far away. It was here, inside him, waiting to be noticed. With a calm breath, Min said, "Thank you, star, for reminding me that even in darkness, light is always there." As Min closed his eyes, he felt a gentle warmth, like a hug from the night itself. The breeze sang a lullaby. The meadow whispered good dreams, and Min drifted into sleep, carrying the quiet star's light deep in his heart. The days and nights had flowed softly like a quiet river, carrying Min through gentle moments of calm and kindness. Now, as the sun began to rise in a sky painted with soft pink and gold, Min felt a peaceful fullness inside him, a quiet knowing that he had found something precious. He walked slowly back to the meadow's heart, where the listening log waited beside the stream. The peace pebble was warm in his hand, and the feather fluttered softly in his pouch. Min settled down on the mossy log, breathing deeply. He thought about all the quiet places he had visited, the still pond, the glowing lantern, the whispered wind, and all the gentle friends who had shared their calm with him. And then Min smiled softly, for he understood something very true. Home is not just a place, he whispered. Home is the calm I carry inside. It is the peace I find when I listen. It is the light that never fades, even in the darkest night. The breeze danced around him, the stream sang a gentle song, and the trees leaned in close like old friends. Min closed his eyes, feeling the warmth of the sun and the quiet of the meadow fold around him like a soft blanket. In that moment, Min knew he was exactly where he needed to be. At peace, at home, and as the world breathed slow and steady, Min rested, safe, calm, and loved, carrying the gentle light of mindfulness in his heart forever.